Do it one more time. There we go. All right. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kenneth Ellington. We have Courtney on deck, and we have our guest today, Hazel Miranda. So, Hazel, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good. And yourself?
Tired and hungry, but I'll make it through. So, Hazel, tell us a little bit more about what you do and who you are.
Okay, so hello, I'm Hazel Miranda, and I am a software QA tester at Samsung in Plano. And I started working at Samsung on October 31st of 2022. So I've been there for about almost 8 months. So us QA testers, we execute manual tests, find bugs and glitches, and we also track and report our findings to the relevant stakeholders. So usually our direct Samsung manager and the research and development team for the Samsung devices. We mainly focus on how the human consumer uses an application rather than how the code functions. So we look at the usability and customer experience aspects of the code, and we conduct thorough testing of about 10 to 15 Samsung market release or non-disclosed devices weekly in AT&T and T-Mobile services. So although I work as a software QA tester, I first wanted to work in the cybersecurity field because during my last year as a college student, it really sparked my interest. And then after I graduated from college is when I met Kenneth and Courtney, and they kind of helped me get on track with what I wanted to focus on regarding entering the cybersecurity field. So that's just a bit about me.
Gotcha. So I guess what we met back, I want to say probably August of last year, right?
I think so. I think I had my interview for ECA sometime. I think it was after my birthday because my birthday is August 1st.
Yeah, I
So
remember
definitely August.
Yeah, you said you want to use the birthday money to pay for the course.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
that's right.
So what was the biggest problem you had before joining us that was like stopping you from reaching your goals?
So the biggest problem I had was that I did not know where exactly to begin my journey. I knew that after graduating college, I wanted to find a cool job in the cybersecurity field, but I did not know exactly what I wanted to do, nor was I familiarized with the different branches of small positions in the cybersecurity field, because at first I didn't know about blue team, red team, purple team, and then positions in those blue teams, red teams, and what purple teams do. So I just did not know like where to go. So after I signed up for ECA and I chatted with you and I met the other students, then it was like a switch. What would you call it? Like, like the light switch. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That definitely happened in my brain. And I was like, okay, I want to do this. So at first that was my biggest issue.
So I would say, from my perspective that I saw, and I think we're still having this issue from what I heard today, Hazel, in our chat.
Oh, that's
was you still have this imposter syndrome. I saw it a lot. Plus, you're a very introverted person naturally, such as I am as well. So like getting you to come outside of your shell was one of the biggest things. Because I was actually kind of worried when I first interviewed you. I'm like, why is this girl so quiet? Did something happen? Should I be concerned? So yeah, that was from my perspective, that was the biggest thing that I wanted to focus on when we first met, was getting you to come out of your shell more, and to be yourself more. Because I don't, at least from my perspective, I'm not sure if you ever thought you would be doing this 10 months ago. Yeah, if not 10 months. Did you think you'd be ever doing something like this, Hazel, 10 months ago?
I could not picture my future actually. Like I knew what I wanted, but this would be kind of hard to believe.
Okay.
From like the point that I was at when I first started, thinking about where I'm at right now would be kind of like, what? Really? Did that actually happen?
Yeah, like self-realization is super important. So I'm glad we're able to help you out with that. Because you are one of my favorite success stories. Just to see how far we've come in such like a short amount of time has really like touched my heart, honestly. But the
Oh,
next question that I want to ask you is, so out of like everyone else online, right? There's a lot of other people that help professionals try to get inside cybersecurity or upskill themselves. Why did you choose us compared to everyone else?
so I really liked how you had just started and it was something brand new. And from what I saw in your LinkedIn profile, and what I read on the ECA page, then I thought to myself, you know what? He lives in Dallas. I'm from Dallas. He knows about cybersecurity. He's starting a new academy that could probably blow up in the future. So I wanted to be part of that because I wanted to support someone in the Dallas community. And I really just wanted to see how that would grow into something big because I had never seen a class about sim tools before, or if there are any other classes on that, they were super expensive and I would not be able to afford that.
So my next, I guess, to pivot from that, how should I put this? What about you? You went to UT Arlington, correct?
Yes.
So why didn't you go back to them for training? Did they not satisfy some need that you had, in your opinion?
So I would not go back to my university or any other university because I don't like how the classroom setting is very much like in school. So you don't really learn anything about the real world. You're just learning content. And it's much better when someone is teaching you and that someone is already going through what you want to do or already went through what you want to do. So I don't think universities could provide that because most of the instructors at those universities, they haven't actually worked in a cybersecurity field besides teaching cybersecurity concepts.
Mm. Yeah, I've also found that a lot of my professors at my old university have never or haven't taught in like decades at actual cybersecurity company. So a lot of it was just like conceptual things. Um, and I love going to USF, University of South Florida, go Bulls. But it was there were some things that were lacking. I felt like I had to really push myself to get everything I could out of that school. A lot of aspects, especially from like the job searching perspective. I don't think they made it very easy to get a job after college. So that was that's always been one of my pet peeves with colleges, right? You'll spend sometimes upwards of like 60, 70, $80,000 to get a degree, right? And then the school doesn't do the best of job getting you across the finish line, actually getting you a job. Um,
Right.
that's one of the biggest things that we've been trying to fix. I'm glad that you're a success story with that because you got a job what 4 or 6 weeks after the program finished.
I would say when did it finish?
We finished at
Like
the end of
September,
September.
right?
Yeah.
So about a month because I think I got the call from the recruiter on October 11th. I remember that's when she told me that no, from the HR manager. That's when she told me that they wanted to hire me. So it was about a month, I would say.
Gotcha. And so with that, what was the most, I guess, particularly effective thing about the program that you enjoyed the most that really helped you out of everything that we offered?
So besides the content that you taught, I really like the community that comes with it. So I met you, I met Courtney, I met Grace, Chloe, Quinnen, Brian, and Jess. It was that her name?
Jess?
Her last name is Class.
Courtney, do we have a Jess? I don't think we have a Jess in the UCA.
Not sure. I don't think we have a Jess.
Or
I think
or
I
maybe
think you
it's Jazz.
I think you may be referring to someone else.
Maybe.
That's okay.
But what I want to say is that I've met so many people that I really enjoyed connecting with. And that's really important to me because in college, the students in my classes didn't really talk to each other. People would just go to a class, listen to the lecture, and then just go home and not network or talk about opportunities that are out there or give each other advice. So with ECA, it was really nice to actually talk to the students and the instructors about the reality of what working in the field is or trying to get into the field.
So would you also say from your experience throughout life or career-wise, having a support system is great to have, like having a sense of community as well?
I would say so, especially people that have similar interests and similar goals.
Yeah, I definitely agree as far as having a sense of community because, dealing with those times where you feel the imposter syndrome, you feel like, things are difficult, you're having a difficult time understanding the content, but having people around to be able to explain things who are a little bit more familiar with the topic is definitely helpful. It kind of it builds on a sense of clarity. And, with having a community, it also brings in accountability. And I think sometimes we do need an accountability check here and there. So having whether if it's family, if it's friends, if it's people on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you associate yourself with, those are like the perks of having a community around you. I definitely wanted to ask you that. And within on your job, do you feel like having your coworkers building a community is also useful as well? Do you feel that way?
Yes, I think it's also really important for me at work because I think if I were to belong to a place where there was not a community built within, I would feel very lonely and bored.
Yeah, agree.
That's how I felt a lot of the times during college, like some semesters, especially after COVID, when a lot of people either just skipped class or took online classes.
Mhm.
It was like very lonely to be on campus.
Kenneth, do
Yeah,
you agree?
yeah, I would say that community aspect is like one of the core things that we try to do here at ECA. Because again, I didn't find like I think we call it like our tribe until probably like a year after I started going down the cybersecurity path. It was super hard. I would tell people about like what I did, and they didn't understand why I was sacrificing so much of my time, energy, and money to try to get inside of this field. So like trying to explain to somebody that you want to change your life and they don't get it, right? You get kind of frustrated, right? Um, so from that perspective, it was hard, right? So I wanted to develop a place where people that were back in my shoes, like a couple steps down from where I was, they had that safe place to be themselves, right? To network, to talk about cybersecurity topics, to be goofy, right? Anime, comic books, whatever it may be that we like, to get that
Definitely.
chance to speak on it. So that's part of the reason why I created ECA, and that's why one of my favorite aspects about this company is the Slack channel, right? It is, and I was talking to you about this earlier today, Court. It is super weird, right? For me, because I do own my own company now, right? On some days it doesn't really feel real. But again, like one of my favorite parts is having that Slack channel where I get to put out updates. I get to create content and give it out towards the students. So people that I know that are serious about it. Because everyone inside that channel has been like handpicked by me, you, or Grace. So everyone in there is about bettering themselves and bettering others. So that's super important towards me. So yeah, I would say for sure having that community is insanely important, because as a higher up you go, the more money you make, more successful you get. Like having people around you that really kind of trust and respect you for you and that want to use you
Right.
as like a resource or just a stepping stone towards their goals, is insanely important. So building out those connections, relationships right now, is very imperative for most people. Which is why Hazel, that I've been trying to bring you towards more of those security events. I want you to meet different people, right? That are local to Dallas, so you can start to build out your network. So when you do want to get your first cybersecurity job, you're able to actually jump and land and get that position a lot easier.
Right, because I don't really know anyone besides you that's in cybersecurity and is in Dallas.
Yeah, there's a lot more people for sure. As the summer progresses, we'll get you plugged in more and get you more opportunities with that. So like anybody that's listening out there, go towards the networking event, even if it's online. Go to B-sides, go to a tech meetup, just meet people, talk to people, put yourself out there. At first it will be awkward, right? It'll be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You want to run out the room, because I did. But do it enough and it gets a lot easier. I remember the first time I did it, my palms were so sweaty. I was like sweating out my suit. I'm like, this is so uncomfortable.
You
Like
wanted
it's
to run out
easier.
the room? I didn't know that.
I didn't run. I just walked out the room. But it gets easier with time. Trust me.
Definitely.
But Hazel, next question I want to ask you is: so as a result of being inside this program and implementing some of the things that we have told you to do, how has that impacted your life?
So the way that it's impacted my life, it's just a motivator to keep me going, to better my career and where I'm at. So I can think, oh, I took this Splunk course and I'm still part of ECA. I can just keep practicing with that skill so that it can help me in the future to get somewhere where I want to be.
I agree. You've come a long way since you started, and thankfully you've listened to everything that I've said. It's really showed, so I'm very happy about that. And everyone does that. And then when it doesn't work,
Okay.
yeah, no. Honestly, most people don't listen to what I have to say, even though they ask me for help, which I think is kind of weird. But hey, it's their life, their
Oh,
choices, right? Um, so I'm glad that you did right, and it's really showed off for how far you've come so quickly. So you should be very proud of yourself, Hazel.
I try.
You're doing more than trying, trust me. So my next question would be, where do you think you would be if you didn't sign up for this program and joined us?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if I would be unemployed still or something, or just going down a spiral. Because I got a lot of help from ECA, not just helping me decide what I wanted to learn, but with my resume, my LinkedIn profile, advice from you guys that are already in the field. So I think a lot of those things really helped me. It was definitely like a stepping stone to help me get to where I want to be.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I don't know where I would be. Probably at Starbucks again, or at another job. You know how I got a job offer that one time, and then the recruiter just disappeared.
Yes, we talked about that, how you need to get things in writing.
I think that would have just happened again or something if I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, that's another thing that I don't think colleges teach a lot. On say when you get a job offer, how to negotiate, right? How to negotiate your salary, how to interview. So I'm glad we're able to help out with that aspect as well. Shout out to Emmy Dawson for that. She's an awesome person. She owns. Please don't. I hope they got it. I'm not messing up the name. It's Needle Finder Recruitment. I hope that is the name. Now she can yell at me.
That is
But
correct.
thank God. So yeah, she's one of our recruitment partners. She does an awesome job. She was able to help Hazel out a lot getting her job offer. So shout out to her. But yeah, that's one of the things that we try to focus on towards the end of the programs, right? To make sure once you get your new skill set, you're able to actually properly interview, negotiate a job offer. So I'm glad that you felt that was very beneficial towards you. And then my last question, Hazel, would be for anyone that's on the fence about booking a call with us or join our programs. So what would you tell them?
I would tell them to ask themselves what their options are to helping them get into the cybersecurity, yes, they want to. And that if they don't know where to begin, just like how I didn't know what I wanted to do at first, then they should definitely look into ECA because it will help them set their mind straight and reach their goals. Just like me.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, that's it for the first set of questions. So for our last couple ones, there'll be more fun ones. So Hazel, what is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show, I need to think. Oh, I like Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things is a good one.
I've
It
seen
was really
like
good.
part of season 1, but I heard it got worse every single season, so I never watched it.
Really?
Yeah, or at least from what my dad told me. He wasn't happy with like the last season, so
Everyone was scared of the last season because of Vecna.
Yeah, it was a bunch of trippy stuff going on around that time. I was looking at, I think the last season that aired, I watched a bit of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of stuff going on, especially because it was like it was like a build up from the first season to the second and all that stuff. Cool show. Nice show. So,
Yeah, I think there's a 5th season coming out like next year, I believe.
oh wow.
okay. Next question, Hazel. Your favorite anime, if you watch anime.
My favorite anime. So I used to watch a lot of more anime before when I had more time. Well, actually, I think I have a really short attention span sometimes. So that's why I don't watch that many shows or anime. But let me think. My favorite anime. What is your favorite anime? I need to remember what animes are out there.
My favorite one is probably My Hero Academia. Yeah, that's literally I put on my slide decks.
Oh, you know
Yeah,
what? I like Demon Slayer
Demons.
because
Okay,
I read the entire manga and I really liked it.
Awesome.
I read it this January.
Nice.
I just finished season 3 on it. Very, very good. It's progressively gotten better from every single season. So it's super good.
Guys, I actually have to catch up on season 2 because the first season was awesome. I didn't get to season 2, didn't get to season 3, so now you all
Sure.
are giving me some anticipation
Yeah.
to get into.
The ending is
show-
crazy.
Yeah, they show more Michael Jackson season 2, season 3. That's what he looks like. He literally looks like Michael Jackson. The minute I saw him, like, why is he inside of an anime? But yeah. But yeah, my favorite one is My Hero Academia. What that was season 6 was this past year. Yeah, it's past winter and fall. And so like the best boss battle scene so far came out like during Christmas. So like my entire family came towards my dad's house back in Tampa. So me and my brothers, my dad watched those episodes like 5 times in a row over and over again because it was that good. It was so goddamn good. It was literally it
Really?
was because it was like building up towards that moment. Like for the entire season. It was like midway through the season, so like 10 episodes building up towards that moment. And when it happened, at that fight scene, it was just like absolutely amazing. I won't spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, but highly suggest you watch My Hero Academia.
Is it on Crunchyroll?
It's in Crunchyroll, some Hulu.
Okay.
And then my last question towards you, Hazel. Do you use a password manager?
I actually was gonna use the one that you said, but I haven't sorted it out.
Hazel, it's free. There's no cost whatsoever.
I just have so many passwords written in my notes
I
that I forgot about them.
That's the thing. Like I would write it down. I don't have to go back my background and get it. I'm like, this is a pain in the ass. I don't keep doing this. I literally got that. I got Dashline. I love it so much. So it's like one click and it autofills everything again, which saves me so much time. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by them, even though it may sound like it. I just really love their product. So I was super glad that I actually purchased it because I have like the business edition, which is like $4.99 for like unlimited devices. So highly suggest for anybody that wants to get a password manager to get Dashline. It's the best one in my opinion that I've used so far.
What's the difference between the business edition and the free version?
So the free versions is only for I think like one device. So if you just use it for your phone, it's just locked in your phone. The basic edition, it's like upwards of like I think 3 devices, just like $2.99 per month. Then the edition I have is like unlimited devices, just like $4.99 per month. Or you can get it for like I think $40-$50 per year if you buy the yearly purchase one. So very, very cheap.
I thought it was actually more expensive than that for that
It,
one.
it might have changed the last time I checked. That's how much it was.
That's actually a pretty good price.
So like what you're getting for how much time it saves me, it's absolutely worth that. All my devices are connected. I literally just download the app, install the browser extension, and I can log on to any device, and I don't have to like run towards the back room or carry my passwords around like a madman. I'm traveling. So highly beneficial.
Also, because I mostly use the PC at work when I do stuff. So I'm pretty sure we can't use Dashline because no, right? It's a security.
I have no idea. I don't know Samsung security policies.
Should ask your IT department about it. About using it.
I should.
But Hazel, that's all the questions we had for you today. I appreciate you coming on. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.